So 4-term polynomials now. We started with 2, and then 3, and now 4-term polynomials. There are, that I can think of, 3 different types of grouping that you can use, but we're just going to do one kind. And it's called 2-2, well, it's not officially called this, but we're going to use 2-2 groupings, where we're going to take 2 and group them, and then we're going to take the other 2 and group them for that total of 4, okay? There is a 3-1 and a 1-3, but we're going to stick just with 2-2 grouping. It brings us back to what we did in Goal 4-1, where we took out common factors. So it's a series of 3 common factors. That's the whole process, okay? So I typically, because there's actually more than one way to group them, I just go with the first 2, then the second 2, because it works. So on the first 2, you look for something that's common to both terms. They both have a y squared. So y squared comes out as my common factor. When I take my y squared from the x squared y squared, I'm left with the x squared. And when I take my y squared from the plus 3y squared, I have plus 3. Then I go to the second 2 and I do the same thing. The sign that is right here is the sign of the common factor that you take out. So it's going to come out as a positive. And then both of these terms have a b. So b is my common factor. b into bx squared leaves me x squared. And b into 3b is positive 3. And you'll notice, hopefully, that these parentheses match each other. Okay? The parentheses must match. If they do not match, you have done something wrong. Okay? You want these to look exactly alike. Now, this is kind of hard to understand, but I'm going to explain it anyway. You have taken a polynomial that had 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've turned it into a polynomial with just 2 terms. I know it doesn't look like that, but that's what it is. This is considered 1 term, and this is considered 1 term because it's attached with the parentheses, separated by the sign, attached with the parentheses. So when I look at these 2 terms, the common factor to them is that parentheses. So that parentheses comes out as the common factor. Written once. And then what's left on the outsides of the parentheses, y squared plus b, that makes up the other parentheses. So this factor that is now the same comes out, and then the stuff on the outsides makes up my other parentheses. And it didn't matter which one you put first. That's my answer. So there's no guess and check, there's no trial and error like trinomials. It's common factor, common factor, common factor. I don't think I did that to you. No, I didn't. I didn't give any where I had a common factor first to begin with. Okay, so first 2. My common factor into 6 and 9 is 3. And 1 has the, yes, Brady?
Yes, so the 2 parentheses on the last question, that's the final answer.
That's my answer. Okay, so my first 2, my common factor to my numbers is 3. And they both have x's. One has an x to the third, one an x squared, so I can take out an x squared. And I divide. 3 into 6 is 2. X squared into x to the third is x. Minus 3 into 9 is 3. X squared would cancel because I took it out. Whatever this sign is right there, that's the sign between the two terms now. That's the sign of the common factor that's going to come out. So I have 4x minus 6. The common factor is 2. They don't have an x common, so just a 2. 2 divided into 4 is 2. My x comes down. Minus comes down. 2 divided into 6 is 3. And again, the parentheses must match. If they don't match, go and look what you're doing wrong, because you're doing something wrong. So then, the matching parentheses, that factor comes out as the common factor. And then the stuff on the outsides, what's left, makes up the other parentheses. 3x squared plus 2. They all work exactly the same, except for a sign thing. Okay, in my next one here, my common factor is 2, because 2 goes into 2 and 8, and they both have x's, so I can take out an x squared, so 2x squared. And divide. 2 into 8 is 4. X squared divided into x to the third is x. Minus 2 into 2 is 1. And x squared into x squared would be gone. Notice this time I have a minus. So whatever this sign is here is the kind of common factor that I'm going to take out. So that sign just comes down. And then my common factor to 12 and 3 is 3. Three divided into 12 is 4. And then this is the trick. Since I'm taking out this negative, my signs changed. So that's why this became positive. And now this one's going to become a negative. The sign's going to change because I took out a middle term, because I took out that minus, sorry. 3 into 3 is 1. Plus, it makes the parentheses match each other. You'll know if you don't pull out the sign right, because you'll have things that don't match here, and these have to match each other. So when I take out the negative here, my signs are going to change. And then, my common factor is the like parentheses, and then my other one is what's left on the outside. Okay, next one here. No numbers common to 1 and 2 other than 1, but they both have x's. So I'm going to take out x squared. X squared divided into x to the third leaves me x, plus 2 comes down. X squared into x squared would cancel. This sign determines the sign of the common factor. So I'm going to take out a minus. And common to both 5 and 10 is 5. And I divide 5 into 5. X leaves me just the x. And 5 into 10 is 2. I'm changing my signs because I pulled out a minus. And then it makes the parentheses match each other. Then my x plus 2 is the common factor, and what's left on the outsides makes up the other parentheses. And my last one. Common to the first two terms, 15 and 3 have a common factor of 3. And these both also have x's, so I can take out an x also. 3 divided into 15 is 5. X's would cancel. Minus 3 into 3, X cancels, leaving me just the Y. The sign here that I have highlighted determines the kind of common factor you're going to pull out. So I'm going to pull out a positive common factor. Common to the other two terms is the number 2. 2 divided into 10 is 5. Minus, no sign changes. 2 divided into y leaves me just my y. And again, the parentheses have to match. If they don't match, go back and look what you're doing wrong. And then that comes out as the common factor. And what's left on the outsides makes up the other parentheses. And that's it. No harder than that. No guesswork involved. Common factor, common factor, common factor. Okay? All right, so you have 7 questions for your OTL. Six, 8, make sure I can read my paper right, 26, 30, 32, 34, 38. This is in your backpack as always. And then on Tuesday, you will have a short 4-question goal assessment on that. 4 questions.